What's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. So for today's video, we are going to be reacting to ranking the best Robin sidekick from all 30 NBA teams. So pretty much whenever we look at these ranking videos, it's always talking about like the best of each squad, man. But a lot of the times to win a championship, you need like the Kyrie Irvings out there. Or maybe you need like the Paul George to the Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying, man? So yeah, it's a video by Hoops Reference, one of my favorite YouTube channels. We're going to go ahead and check this out, man, and see who the best of the best sidekicks are. I'm going to say Anthony Davis is probably number one. Like Anthony Davis to LeBron James. That's just my prediction. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's do it.
In my last video, we took the best player from each team and ranked them from best to worst, and today's video will be following along that theme, but in a slight variation. Instead, in today's video, we'll now be taking the Robin to their Batman, meaning the second best player or the sidekick of the team.
Maybe I'm not.
Basically, we're taking the second best player from every team in the league and ranking them from worst to best again.
More of a Marvel guy.
There will probably be some debate about some selections, as some teams have a few guys very close in talent, but I did the best with what I could with the choices, so yeah.
Arrow was
Before we start though, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. Starting at the bottom
number
of the
30
list,
for Collin
the
Sexton?
30th and worst Robin in the league at the moment is Collin Sexton.
You know, I cannot think... I would take Collin Sexton over the best player on the Charlotte Hornets. Let me just point that out. So you want to say Terry Rozier is the best Hornet? I would take Sexton over him. And I can't even think who the second best Charlotte Hornet is. I can't even think of that.
Cavaliers. Sexton's rookie season
Come on, man, over the second best of the Charlotte Hornets?
By any means, and he definitely did show some promise, especially in the second half of the season.
Oh yeah, he was a good scorer.
But ultimately, he still has a ways to go in his development, and compared to the rest of the number twos in the league, he's a tier below at the moment. At number 29,
I'll take Collin Sexton over
Nicolas Batum of the Charlotte
He's literally
Hornets.
a number two. He freaking piece of shit.
Batum at his peak was a terrific role player on the wing with a nice balance of production across the board. But in the present, he's far over the hill and is now eating up a ton of cap space. At number 28, we have Thomas Bryant of the Washington Wizards. Bryant broke out big time last season after a relatively non-productive rookie season and is now a nice piece of the Wizards' rotation. Unfortunately, him being tasked with being a number two option is much more than he should have on his plate, and again, compared to the rest of the league, just doesn't quite match up.
What about Isaiah Thomas? He went number two.
At number 27, we have Justise Winslow of the Miami Heat. Winslow has struggled at times throughout his career so far, but last year he seemingly really excelled as a point forward.
I like those blue rims,
We'll see how many opportunities he'll get to continue on that progression this year, with
orange?
Jimmy Butler now on the team and Goran Dragic back healthy, but he's showed some signs of growth that are promising.
Lime green.
At number 25, we have Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Jackson missed some time because of injury as a rookie, but in the games he played, he did show off the kind of skill set bigs need to have in today's league, being able to shoot from deep, protect the rim, and just fit into the flow of the offense. He's still very young and has plenty of time to develop, so down the road, he may shoot up this list. At number 24, we have DeAndre Ayton of the
Devin
Phoenix
Booker.
Suns.
Devin Booker's
Ayton
Batman.
was the number one pick last year, and while Luka Doncic and Trae Young stole the show, Ayton also had a pretty solid first year. He does need to improve a bit on the defensive end, but his face-up game on offense is already pretty impressive. At number 23, we have Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic. Gordon's a supreme athlete that does a little bit of everything out on the floor, but doesn't necessarily excel in one specific part of the game. He's a very nice piece in the Magic lineup, but hasn't taken a step towards stardom that some thought he had in him yet. At number 22, we have Lauri Markkanen of the Chicago Bulls. Markkanen is a 7-footer with some guard-like skills, as he can shoot well from the perimeter and even take defenders off the dribble.
The big dudes that got handles,
his efficiency should raise a bit, and if or when that happens, he's got some serious star potential. At number 21, we have Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans.
Who's number 1, Drew?
Ingram has been scrutinized for being compared to Kevin Durant and failing to live up to that hype. But overall,
I mean, I've been critical of Brandon Ingram, but for anybody to live up to Kevin Durant, one of the greatest small forwards to ever play, you know, you can't be too hard on people.
He's still shown plenty of signs that he'll be a very good player throughout his career. He needs to improve a bit as a three-point
Also, I don't know if
shooter,
you guys saw 26 is
overall,
supposed to be Marcus
he's
Morris
improved every
of the
year in
Knicks.
the
I guess he
league,
skipped
and
down
that
accident.
trend should continue.
Saw it in the comments.
At number 20, we have Jayson Tatum
Damn, at number
of the
20 for
Boston
Jayson
Celtics.
Tatum?
The Tatum hype
Number
was
20?
through the roof before last season, but then he took a step back as
I gotta
a
see the
player
19
in year
better.
2, and things cooled off a bit. He's still capable of being a go-to scorer for the team, but he has to take smarter shots and learn to play more within the flow of the offense. At number 19, we have John Collins of the
over
Atlanta
Tatum. What do you guys
Hawks.
think about that?
Collins nearly averaged 20 and 10 this past season.
Well, there you
and
go.
While
There's
the
your
Hawks
answer.
weren't a very good team, and it's still too early to tell whether this is just another case of good numbers on a bad team, he is still a very promising
Hey, even good numbers on a
player
bad team, you can be
regardless.
something. Look at Kevin
number
Love. Became a
18,
great option
we
on the
have
Cleveland
Danilo
Cavaliers.
Gallinaris
He was good
of
numbers
the
on a bad team.
Oklahoma
Won a
City
championship
Thunder.
as a third option.
Out of everyone, not only on this list, but in the league in general, Gallinari is probably one of the most slept-on players in general.
I agree with that.
He's coming off what very well may be his best season as a pro, where he put up 20 points per game on supreme efficiency.
You might even say
and
he's
was a
the
big part of
number
the
one
Clippers'
option on
success
the
last
OKC
season.
Thunder.
At number 17,
Over Chris
we
Paul.
have Myles Turner of the Indiana Pacers. Turner's one of the best defensive big men in the league, can knock down threes at a good rate, and doesn't force too much. His offensive
I wish he
game
would
may
force
not
a little
be
more, if I'm
quite
being
as far
honest,
along
man.
as many hoped it would be, but defensively he's incredibly impactful. At number 16, we have Robert Covington of the Minnesota
Damn, Rocco
Timberwolves.
over
Cov
Wiggins.
is a premier defensive player in the league that always finishes near the top of the league in deflections and steals, and does all of the little things on that end of the floor. The term 3-and-D fits him to a T, and his impact is felt every
Damn,
time he's on the court.
Robert got bars, man.
At number 15,
3
we
and D
have
fits
Buddy
into the
Hield
T.
of the Sacramento Kings. Hield was drafted to be an elite shooter of the basketball, and he has become exactly that with the Kings and more. He averaged 21 points on the wing while shooting the ball 43% from deep on 8 attempts per game, making him one of the best shooters in the association. At number 14, we have Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets. Murray's an extremely talented young shot creator.
Why is he not playing
that
for
can
Team
go
Canada,
off on
though?
any given
Coulda
night.
used ya.
Like most young players, though, he needs to work on his consistency, but in general, he's been key to the Nuggets'
young bloods like to
offensive
shoot the
success,
basketball. It's all good.
alongside Nikola Jokic.
They get excited, man.
At
They
number
like pop
13,
up some
we have
threes.
Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. Now, with Kawhi Leonard gone, there's a good chance
Siakam's the number one option.
that
He's
he
number
could
one
be the
option.
team's best player,
He
but
is.
in my last video I gave
He
Kyle
definitely
Lowry
is.
the slightest edge because of his experience. Siakam's
fair
coming
enough.
off of a campaign where he won Most Improved Player and is in for another big leap this year by being trusted with a much
We'll
bigger
see
role
about
on the
that.
team.
Gotta see what we can do without
At number
Kawhi.
12,
Losing
we
a player
have
like that
DeMar
can hurt you,
DeRozan
man.
of the San Antonio Spurs. DeRozan's interesting because he's a score-first wing player that gets 20 a night easily, but through 10 seasons has yet to add anything close to a reliable three-point shot.
That's alright, he still gets it
very
done.
good, but he tends to thrive most on relatively low-quality looks.
But he
At
makes
number
them.
11, we have Andre Drummond
Bro,
of the
Luka Kennard's
Detroit
second
Pistons.
option, man. Blake
Drummond
Griffin
is
number one.
perhaps the best rebounder in the NBA, having led the league there 3 of the past 4 years. He's also a pretty good defensive big man that
He's
gets
okay.
an unprecedented amount of steals for a center, and while he may not be the most skilled on offense, he does his work in many other ways. Now, starting off the top 10 of this list of sidekicks, we have Khris Middleton of the Milwaukee Bucks. Middleton's a smooth player on the wing that shoots it well and provides Giannis the spacing he needs to flourish. He made his first All-Star game last year
I was
and
happy
has
for Khris
become
Middleton
one of
when he
the
made that.
top second options in the league without
paid,
any
too.
expectations to do so. At number 9, we have Mike Conley of the Utah Jazz. Conley's been the definition.
See, that's the thing, though. When I think of the Utah Jazz, I think of Donovan Mitchell and I think of Rudy Gobert. Like, I think like Mike Conley. I think of Mike Conley as the third option now. I think he's the
of a
third. I think
fringe
he's
all-star
the
for years, often playing at an
he's the
all-star
Raven.
level, but
But
just
he's the Beast
missing
Boy.
the cut. Now moving from
Going
Memphis
off
to Utah,
Teen Titan
he'll
references
play the
'cause
role
Robin.
at point guard that the
Cyborg.
team has
Cyborg,
desperately
yes.
needed at a very high level.
Cyborg is a great
At
basketball
number
nickname.
8, we have CJ McCollum of the Portland Trail Blazers. While Dame is clearly the Batman of the team, McCollum does a damn good job as the Robin alongside him, providing another high-level score and together forming one of the best backcourts in the league. At number 7, we have Kristaps Porzingis of the Dallas Mavericks. The Unicorn has a skill set we really haven't seen in the league yet, as he shoots the ball exceptionally well from 3 and thrives on the perimeter while also being a 7'3" rim protector. He hasn't been on the court in over a year, so it may take him a while to return to form, but he'll still be a terrific running mate alongside Luka Doncic. At number 6, we have Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers. He's one of the most hated on players in the league because of his unwillingness to shoot jump shots, but the thing that often gets brushed under the rug is just how good at the rest of the game
Don't be brushing shit on the rug, guys.
He averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists
Pick
per
it up
game
and throw
last
it away.
year, while also being one of the most versatile defenders in the league,
Look at that
and is
three.
definitely a top-tier sidekick alongside Joel Embiid.
I agree with that.
At number 5,
Klay
we have
47.
Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. The second
Horrible
splash
nickname
bro is
because
a walking heat check,
very
and while
inaccurate
Steph
guns.
gets all the attention for being the best shooter of all time, Klay is also up there with the all-time greats in that regard as well, while also playing some very good on-ball defense against opposing teams' best players. At number 4, we have Kyrie Irving of the Brooklyn Nets.
One of the best to do it, man.
He's going to be the number 1 option this year, but that's just because Kevin Durant is currently injured. His handles are lethal, he scores the ball incredibly efficiently for a guard that creates his own shot, and is now getting a fresh start
Love
on
him
a
as
new
number
team.
2 option, guys.
At number 3, we have
Ooh,
Russell
Russell
Westbrook
over
of the
Kyrie.
Houston
Oh, how do you guys
Rockets.
feel about that, man?
He's now reunited with his
that okay?
longtime
Is this
friend
okay?
James Harden, and together
Should we
they
say
form
something?
an MVP backcourt. He's averaged a triple-double for 3 straight seasons now, which is pretty ridiculous, but he needs to improve his efficiency in order to succeed in D'Antoni's system.
Don't like the new haircut
At
either.
number 2, we have Paul George of the Los
Number 1
Angeles
AD,
Clippers.
right?
He was an
What is
MVP
LeBron?
candidate last season and a Defensive Player of the Year candidate as well, as he truly is one of the best two-way players in the league. After being teamed up with Russell Westbrook last year, he's now playing alongside Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard, and together they have championship aspirations. Now, last but definitely not least, at number 1 on this list for best sidekicks in the league, we have Anthony Davis
Nothing to say,
of
I agree
the Los
100%.
Angeles Lakers. Davis is a legitimate superstar in the league, but after everything he did last year quitting on the Pelicans, he's going to have a lot to
Could
prove
argue they quit on
while
him,
also
too.
playing alongside LeBron James after the Lakers failed to make the playoffs last season.
They've been quitting on
And
80 for
with that being
years.
said, that's all I have for you today. Make
Yeah,
sure
I would say overall, no big time arguments with the list. I thought it was a pretty good one. I thought for the most, there's a few exceptions where you could say, okay, this guy like Pascal Siakam, I consider the first option. Now, Mike Conley, I consider a third option. Overall, good video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Link to Hoops Reference channel description below. Peace out, my friends.